This is where you guys and girls come to chill on a Monday evening after a tough day at work. I know it's getting really hot outside, but this is where you come. Enjoy, relax, and have fun for the rest of the evening. You're watching Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live, and we've got two of the busiest men in India these days. Joy is running from studio to studio, doing God knows how many things, and Simon Doull's been racking up his air miles. Gentlemen, this is where you come and chill, don't you?
100%. It's nice to be back. Nice early morning flight from Jaipur and chilled out day. Nice to be back in the studio again.
How many million miles do you have already?
Quite a lot, actually. I downloaded a new app and I'm cranking up the miles already, so it's good.
He's got 1 million miles. You've got a few billion bucks. Just reminding you, Joy, that this is a cricket show. Nothing to do with fantasy or volleyball.
Sure. Let me reorient myself. You sure? This is cricket, right?
Yeah. It is.
Cricket. IPL?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Right. Now that we've got two of the most chilled out people in cricket broadcast, we have to talk a bit of cricket while we also discuss what we're going to eat. That's also part of this show's plan. You're watching Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. Two teams in action tonight at the Ekana Stadium in Lucknow. It is LSG versus SRH. One team still in contention for that remaining playoff spot. The other team already knocked out. But 60 matches up, guys, of the IPL, 10 more to go in the league stage. Before we get going on LSG and SRH, what have the learnings been from what we've seen this season so far?
I think for me, the biggest one was I thought this was the year of the Indian debutant. I mean, new kids coming in and looking much more prepared than they did in previous years from the likes of Digvish Shingrati, Priyansh Arya. We are talking about a lot of them, even Prince Yadav. Yep. And then, of course, we're talking about Vaibhav Suryavanshi, Ayush Matre. Everyone's come and they've looked the part. Yeah. And I think that's very interesting. The fact that, you know, the transition phase, it's not that it's going to be that easy for them continuing. Yeah. But I think all of them have come in and showed that, you know, they have the ability and the ability to prepare them to that stage where they can come and perform in stages like this is, I think, is a fantastic job from the coaching staff, the management, the team psychologists. So I think this is the year of the Indian debutant, and I think it's one of the best crops I've seen.
Simon?
The continued evolution of T20 cricket, I think, and in this tournament, and the signs to me that if you do not get it quite right at the auction table, you will suffer. Number 1 can lose to number 10. Yeah. The strength of this tournament, I think, is just growing year upon year, and the simple fact that anyone can beat anyone at any given stage, I think is a great sign of where this tournament has come to. And also, just when I talk about the evolution, I talk about the fact that I think sides are understanding that milestones are nowhere near as important nowadays. Strike rates, and we're seeing sides go and continue to go. Yeah. Even happy to lose wickets. We saw it in the run setting yesterday in Jaipur. I thought it was a brilliant example of being in trouble at 34 for 3, but just continuing. Yeah. Not holding back. And I think we are seeing sides do that, and the sides that do it and get it right are being successful.
Right. We've also seen senior players tell the younger partner, to not worry about their own hundreds, just focus on the result. And that's what we've seen the likes of Josh Butler do as well. Just a quick look at the points table to see where these teams are. One of the 4 knocked out teams, Hyderabad, that are at 8. Surely they don't want to finish in the bottom 2. And Lucknow very much in the race alongside Delhi and Mumbai to take that 4th spot. Who clearly, Lucknow, for you, outside chance, maybe not. What do you reckon?
Very outside chance, because their first thing is that they can land up only on 16. Yeah. 16 is the maximum they can go to. Okay, so that means that 16, all 3 of their matches, and they need other matches to go also, because there's net run rate, the other teams have to also. So there's a lot of factors involved, and Lucknow's net run rate is also not great. Yeah. So you've got to win all 3, and look at that. Today's, SRH, which is an opponent who's out of the tournament. But after this, they have Mumbai and Gujarat. And Mumbai is also playing for that 4th place. Yeah. So look, let's remember at this point in time, there are 3 teams playing for 1 place. Yeah. Okay, that's Mumbai, Delhi and Lucknow are playing for spot number 4.
Yeah.
And the top 3 are playing for first and second.
Yeah.
So there are 2 races on at the same time, and that's actually what makes this tournament so special. Because if 1, 2, and 3 and 4 were not, it was not important to finish first and second. Now the top would have been a bit of a humdrum game.
Yeah.
Teams would have rested players and all. Now every team is going to go hard.
Mumbai have 2 left. There is maybe an outside chance of them finishing in the top 2 as well.
Yeah, an outside chance. They're the side that have hit the form, or they were hitting form beautifully before the break, weren't they? And I don't know whether that is going to make a difference to them, but they always looked to me like the side on paper that should be dominating teams. I mean, there was a couple of sides that looked so good on paper. They were one.
Yeah.
Didn't take them as long as it has done some years to find their mojo, but they looked brilliant before the break. So if they can come back as strong, I think they look like the more fancied team for me to make it through to that top 4.
Lucknow at the auction table, when they went really big on Rishabh Pant, all of us got really excited because clearly Rishabh Pant is a big draw. He's a huge attraction as well for young fans. The fact that they believe so much in him, they bet the big bucks on him, but the results have been poor. Is the issue with Lucknow personnel, or is it just the form of the players? Did they go wrong at the auction? We can pull up the squad graphic for you.
A bit of both. When I look at the teams that are in the top 4, what I look at is where their strength has come from. And it's come from local talent batting. It's come from local batting. Now, not that the Lucknow batters, that they've picked the overseas batters, haven't done quite well.
Yeah.
But what that means is that you can strengthen your squad with all-rounders and bowlers from an overseas department. You look at those numbers there. Now, the Indian contingent for Lucknow, just 27.3 percentage of the runs, 72. That's completely flipped to all the other top sides in that table.
Yep.
66 for Gujarat, which we know what they can do. And a big part of that 33 is Jos Buttler.
Yep.
Mumbai, 71%, Bengaluru and Delhi. So you've got the Indian players doing a bulk of the scoring for those sides, where you've got the overseas batters, and they've got 4 in their top 6.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 batters in their top 6. So they don't have any overseas bowling strength or genuine overseas all-rounders, a la Maxwell Stoinis, Romario Shepherd, that type of player, even Rashid Khan, for instance. So they've gone heavy on the batting front. And I say this time and time again, bowlers win you tournaments. So I think the sides that have proved they've got local Indian batting talent at the top. Now think about those 3 or 4 sides at the top. They use 1 minimum, or one sometimes, and 2 only. They've never used more than 2 overseas players in their top 6 batters.
Yeah.
They've always had a genuine all-rounder or a world-class bowler.
Yeah.
And that's why they're at the top of the table. So that to me is where they've possibly just gone wrong. They've stacked it heavy, and maybe the understanding of the conditions has not quite been right.
I have one more point to add to this. I mean, if you look at a batter, okay, you paid a huge amount of money, Lucknow has, to a batter, okay? Sure. Let's not say he's a batter keeper, because Puran can keep as well.
Sure.
Okay, they have enough keepers in their team. So what are you paying for? You're paid for Rishabh Pant as a batter and as a captain, okay? The only person in these 18 years of IPL who has justified the maximum money being played just as a batter has been Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And for Mahendra Singh Dhoni, 50% of them has been his aura and, just the way he leads the team and the, World Cup captain, everything captain, and a fantastic record. But to expect a batter to come in at 5 and 6 and to make substantial difference to any outfit, look at the top scorers. Your top scorers are always bound to be likely to be 1, 2, 3. It's very rarely even number 4.
Yeah.
So paying big money to a guy to bat at 5 it doesn't make sense. You might pay a little bit of money when you have somebody like a 6, like an Andre Russell. He'll bowl a bit for you, but he's a power striker like there aren't any others. Yeah. There are very few like that. So Rishabh Pant as a finisher is not in that class. Let's put it this way: he's not even in the Miller class right now as a finisher.
Yeah.
So if you're not batting him top 3, I don't understand.
From a squad composition point of view, was going so big on Rishabh Pant a vanity purchase? Should they have looked at a more realistic scenario where they have a diversified portfolio?
See, they wanted the big guy and they were looking for a captain. Though my personal belief is that Nicky Puran could have easily led this side.
Sure.
Okay, but he was the if you look at the market out there, who is there? There was Shreyas Iyer, there was Rishabh Pant. These were the 2-3 big guys. There was KL Rahul.
Yeah.
KL Rahul, there was history, and perhaps it's best to move on when that thing didn't work out. Let's forget about which way it went.
Yeah.
So these two were the big things in the market, and they're shiny like gold coins. They shimmer out there, and you think you want one of them, and if I get that, everything works. So auction dynamics is often about just seeing that thing and saying that this is this bright, glittery player who I want. And sometimes it's not the best fit for you. And I genuinely believe that Rishabh Pant cannot make big contributions to a T20 match. I think he's a generational test player for India. Probably India's best test wicket keeper. He'll be in the top 11 of India as a keeper for India in test matches. But I do not think he's a generational T20 player yet. And I believe his greatest value, and wherever he's got runs for Delhi and all, is top 3.
It's his worst format.
Sure.
It is his worst format. And they were desperate to go after him. Now, he's had a poor season, and he doesn't. I mean, he hasn't set huge standards, really high standards that he's completely dipped to. He's just been an okay player as far as T20 cricket is concerned. He's not. I think I'm with Joy. He is an unbelievable Test match player, and sometimes you see the shots that he plays in a Test, and you think, he must be a great T20 player. But his record wouldn't suggest that he is a great T20 player. But they were desperate for a local captain. And I kind of understand that as well. I think when sides look at an overseas captain, when you've got 8 options, and not all teams have 8 options as an overseas player, but when you've got 8 options, you want to be able to utilise them if your player goes out of form. Yeah. And having an overseas captain can sometimes be to the detriment of that. So that's the only little aside to not that you'd ever think Nicholas Purana would be dropped if he was captain, but that's the only downside to that part of the equation, I think.
Joy, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Say you were team director at LSG and the owner says, you tell me what to do next season. This is the first of a 3-year cycle. Would you say, Rishabh, no more captain next season? Or would you say, maybe another year, let's see how it goes?
I would say, firstly, I'd say turn around and say that, we need to look at where Rishabh can play, because if Rishabh is going to be Rishabh, he's got to bat top 3. So do I open him then? Then does he go in then with Marsh and Rishabh, and then you have Markram at 3, or maybe Puran at 3, Markram at 4, and say that if he's got to bat top 3.
Yeah.
And I think you need to have a chat with him and say, okay, what do you think went wrong also? Because I feel that what happens to a lot of captains, teams that have had captains who have inputs already because they've been retained, have an advantage, because a lot of what they want can happen on the auction table.
Yeah.
When you're taken on the auction table as a player, you don't have those advantages. Sure. But let me tell you what also happens, that on the side, I can tell you that Ponting would have had a call with Shreyas and said, we are interested in you. There's nothing wrong with that, because, you can't cheat in an auction. But, if you were there with us, I mean, what are the kind of players, who are the kind of young kids you're looking at? And he would have taken inputs. But what I'm saying is, it still is a different matter from that to being there in the auction and knowing I can build my team.
I think open the batting with them. And then they have to make a call on either Markram or Miller not playing. And lose one of them. If you say that Marsh is your power at the top, and Puran's one of your big players, which he was, he had a meeting with the owners and signed a big deal not long, like a day or 2 before the auction, wasn't it? Yeah. I think he was seen going into the head offices, and then you make a call on one of the M's. And you just say, I'm sorry, mate, but you're not going to play. And you find either in your squad or outside of your squad for next year a high-quality overseas quick bowler, and you fill that side up in that way. And Rishabh Pant, to me, has to open the batting to try and get the best out of him.
Lots of big calls need to be taken by these teams, especially those at the bottom of the pile. But for you guys and girls, allow me to help you make a very easy decision. What you're going to do is download that Cricbuzz 11 app. It's available. Guess what the prize money is? There's a whopping 2.5 crores up for grabs. The first prize is, of course, 25 lakhs and free entry for new users. So download that app right away. From the Ekana Stadium, the latest is that Sunrisers Hyderabad have won the toss and they've chosen to chase on a pitch which has a lot of sheen, 60 metres, 69 metres square, 70 plus straight boundaries, lots of runs on offer is what we've been told. 200 being scored only once thus far in the 10 innings. Let's take a look at the 11s. What is the change that Lucknow have made? I've been told Will O'Rourke makes his debut. Mayank Yadav out of the tournament. Ravi Bishnoi is back and so is Akashdeep, and that's where it is, gentlemen. What's your take?
Well, there you go. They've left. I presume David Miller is here, so they've left him out.
Yep.
So he's not going to be, because they've named 4. He's in the impact subs, but he can't come in if that's their lineup with 4 overseas in it already.
Yeah, unless the batting collapses and they have to make a change where they sub out Marsh and bring him in, that's the only opportunity.
They can't do that.
They can't.
They've got their starting 4.
4.
The starting
4 foreign players
overseas.
already in.
Oh, 4 overseas.
They're starting 4 overseas, so they've made that call. So, okay.
So then he's only there, the impact's up to field.
To field if one of the overseas gets injured. So
Are they a bit thin on bowling? Because Marsh isn't bowling these days.
No,
well, that's their batting 11.
They're batting first anyway.
That's
sorry.
their batting 11.
Yeah, of course.
So that's they've decided to leave Miller out.
Yeah.
Which we just sort of talked about. I promise you, folks, I did not read the team news prior to that.
He didn't.
I did not read the team news.
I can promise that he didn't. But I'll take a look at that, because I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed out here. A lot of teams have gone and said that, we are going to pack our batting. Like Kolkata, Ramandeep batting at 9. Look at it here. Samad is 6. And I think Samad being at 6 is one position too early for him, if not 2. Okay? Samad at 6, you go in the 16th over, Samad at 6 is fine. But if it's at 11th over and you've collapsed a bit, Samad at 6 is a bit of a
And with all due respect, Will O'Rourke is by no means a number 8 batter. And not by any stretch of the imagination. So they do seem, from a batting point of view, they seem a batter short there for mine. But if we have a look at their substitutes, if we can get their substitutes, maybe someone up the top goes out early.
Yeah.
And they bring another batter in.
So Shahbaz can bat.
Shahbaz can bat and bowl.
Himmat Singh can bat.
Shardul Thakur can bat and bowl.
And this, when they need to win all 3. So this, I'm assuming, is their best 11.
So no, I think the way they're looking at it, and this is, I would also, is right now Lucknow, given what's happened to them, I have to take a slightly more high-risk strategy.
Yeah.
And they're saying, look, our 6 batters here, you guys are 6 batters, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Do the job.
You do the job, because Digvesh Rathi at 7 is way too high for him. Okay, and Rourke at 8, these are all, you can make out their batting out of position. They're batting 1 or 2 positions out of it. So you 6, you have the responsibility, do it. You need to finish it for us.
A lot then rests on the likes of Nicky P and Rishabh Pant. Hopefully, Rishabh Pant will bow out with a big innings. Now, SRH, few changes for them as well. No Travis Head out with COVID-19. No Shami in this bowling first 11. Harsh Dubey, the left-arm spinner, orthodox spinner, comes in. Nitish Kumar Reddy is back as well. Remember, there's a big England tour coming up. Joy, how do you look at this lineup?
Look, under the circumstances, I think this is the best lineup they could have put out. This is their bowling 11, so I assume one more batter will come in when they bat. It's not a bad 11, because the only person who's not really had it go so far has been Harsh Dubey.
Yeah.
Everyone else has been a part of their team, Zishan Ansari, and I'm sure now, given this composition, you'll see Pat Cummins again with the new ball.
Yeah.
And I think this is a decent team. They put together. They're certainly not trying out players or resting players at this point in time. And I'm glad for that, because this means this will be a top-level competition.
That was the bowling first 11, and I'm assuming Abhinav Manohar most likely to come in when they chase on this track. Shami is in the impact, but how do you bring him in?
Yeah, well, you can't. If they're bowling first, it's not going to happen. Manohar is going to be the man to come in, I would imagine. So that's the decision they've come to. It seems... you think about Shami for the last 3 years, and you think, outside of Jasprit Bumrah, he's the second name on the list from any Indian side from a bowling point of view.
Yeah.
How is he not making this team? What has gone wrong?
Yeah, it could be. Fitness could be an issue, but I'm just thinking that if his side is not picking him, 10 days before an England tour, it's all sorts of.
Is he already thinking of the England tour?
Surely, you can't replicate.
Would an IPL franchise listen to a player who says, listen?
No, man. You've got to get game time. You've got to get over. I know it's only 4 overs, but match time is
and for players like
so
Shami,
vital.
Especially. But I'll tell you one thing. What happens, and this has happened on a regular basis since I was in the IPL, is that the NCA guys will actually call your physio and trainer and say, okay, where's he at? What's he looking at?
Yeah.
Are there injuries? If they, last I saw this thing, do you have the, would you have the MRI? Just send it across. Do you have the, X-ray? Send it across. So there's a lot of exchange of that happens. But I'll tell you one thing. I mean, if he was not to play, he was not fit, he wouldn't be there. He wouldn't be there
Wouldn't
as
be
a
in the subs. So yeah.
Maybe there is a niggle, who knows. Hopefully he'll be okay because, as I said, there's a big England tour coming up. Big game, this one, for the Lucknow Super Giants, and the one man that they will count on for the big runs is our pick for the player to watch out for, powered by Vida, a brand new electric scooter from Hero. Now, look, Vida is trusted and is reliable on Indian roads because of his powerful motors. And when it comes to power, Nicholas Pooran hits them as big and as hard as anyone else. 34 sixes, 34 boundaries this season. Highest in terms of the sixes. Take a look at that strike rate as well. Highest among all batters. How does he generate that kind of power, Simon?
Well, much like the Vida, he's quite low to the ground.
Yeah.
Very stylish.
Yeah.
But he generates about wicket keeper.
Yeah.
So he generates power from his thighs and his buttocks.
Yeah.
Basically. and that's where it comes from. You watch him at the crease and he's quite squat and everything is just power through. And he's got a great turn. In golfers' terms, he's sort of the hips and the turn. And he's got a wonderful eye. So he generates the power almost from the ground up. If you can put that into sort of perspective, because he's got such powerful legs and he's not a big, tall guy, most of his power is generated from the ground up.
Yeah.
And look, when he plays both sides of the wicket, when he doesn't just get too one-dimensional and look only leg side, he is one of the best players to watch in the modern game. Great start to the tournament, hasn't quite been as good in the second half, but that power is immense, and there's no boundary in the world big enough for him not to clear when he's on song. So, I love seeing him in full flight because he's a terrific, terrific player to watch.
Now, Vida's 6 kWh battery is something that generates a lot of power. Now, Joy has been around the IPL since its inception. There's something about these players from the West Indies. Earlier, we saw really strong, very well-built fast bowlers. So now it's big hitting.
No, there's a concept, in running, like there's something called fast twitch and slow twitch, and they have fast twitch muscles. And again, you see that there's a combination. That's the thing that, if you look at it, Klaasen has the same thing, and he's made such a great point that if you're a keeper and you're squatting a lot, you have a lot of lower body core power, okay? Which means your ability to be able to loft is there because you can go lower. But Klaasen hits them straight, okay? Whereas he has that lovely hip swivel, so he can hit them here and here. Yeah. So he's Klaasen plus perhaps a little bit more in terms of, the range at which he can do it. And that power, outside, and you compare it, six hitting. The only person compared to him, for West Indies in six hitting is Andre Russell. Yeah. And Russell is a big man. Here is this little guy, and the kind of power he generates, much like the Vida, it doesn't look very big, but the power it generates in that frame is huge.
DKP clearly is a player that carries the hopes of the Lucknow Super Giants, and just as well, he is a player to watch out for, powered by Vida. Quick update in case you've just joined us at the Ekana Stadium. SRH have won the toss and they will bowl first. It's been a disappointing season for the team, as well as the captain. He's a decorated captain. He's won everything as captain for Australia. Disappointing season as IPL captain. But where should Cummins bowl is a question that's been asked throughout, especially by their fans who've been hoping and praying that he bowls in the power play, opens the bowling. Now, the last game they played against DC, he got 3 for 19. All 3 wickets in the power play. Those were his numbers. These are his numbers with the new ball as compared to first and second change. Joy, why doesn't he open the innings every time?
See, I think he's used to doing it in Australia again. Stark, and he has that ability to bowl with the cross seam, with the slightly older ball. He has more ability. They need the ball to do more. Yeah. He's a bowler who can hit the deck. Therefore, he needs the ball to do less. Yeah. But he's one of the greatest test bowlers of all time. He has the ability to do everything. Yeah. He can rest back and say that, you guys need the new ball more than me. Yeah. Right now, if Shami is not playing, his team needs him to take the new ball.
Yeah. Even if Shami is playing.
I think so. It's something that he's got used to over the years. And as Joy mentioned, Stark, Hazelwood have generally just taken the new ball, whether it be test matches, 50 over, T20 cricket. That's been their combination. And so Pat Cummins has become very, very good for Australia at bowling first change.
Yeah.
And bowling long spells, particularly in Test match cricket.
Yeah.
He's got such a great action and a great ability to hit a line and length that is so consistent in the longer format of the game. Sure. I like him with the new ball in this format. He still wouldn't do it for Australia, but he must do it for this side, for Hyderabad.
The template is different, right? What you do for Australia can be very different from what you do for your franchise.
Absolutely, and he's got to do what's best for the franchise. He's the captain. He's got to do what's best for the franchise. And what's best for this franchise at the moment is to bowl with the new ball and try and take wickets up front. Yeah. He can't do everything, because if they get off to an absolute flyer against the other opening bowling combinations, then he's got to fix the work up in the middle. Take the bull by the horns, grab that new ball and say, well, look, I'm going to try and do it. And if I can't, then I'm going to have to look for other ways for others to do it. But I'm not going to subjectify. It's the toughest place to bowl now. Yeah. With that brand new ball, because of the way batters are coming at you, and it's generally sliding on a bit nicer. Yeah. So even if you've got a slowish wicket, as the ball gets older and softer, it becomes slightly easier to bowl those cutters through the middle and harder for the batters. Yeah. So it's the toughest place to bowl. Therefore, from a captaincy point of view, I like to see him take that on and just say, look, I'm going to have to do this.
Is it lack of options, lack of flexibility that is forcing him to not bowl in the power play? We can pull up the squad for you. Just look at
I think as I said, he's giving the other guys a new ball. I mean, he's giving, he's just, Shami definitely, he prefers him to have the new ball, and Shami will take the new ball from one side. Sure. But I completely agree with him that you have to give, because right now in those first 2-3 overs, if you're not being able to take wickets, if you're not bowling wicket-taking deliveries, and especially against teams like Lucknow is a very top-loaded team. Yeah. They're a very 1-2-3 team. Okay. You need guys who can come in and be genuine wicket-taking threats up front.
And against Marsh, like a guy he knows well. There's circumstances here against Mitch Marsh where he should be going at Mitch Marsh and taking it on. And, so I'm sure we'll see him do that today. But I think when the time is needed, the captain has to take that step, and so I've got to do it for the team.
How would I get you to give us SRH's bowling plan today? Let's pull up the 11. This is their bowling first 11. Remember, SRH bowling first, having won the toss. There they are. Harsh Dubey, left arm spin. Zishan Ansari, leg spin. Ishan Malinga, Pat Cummins, Harshal Patel with some pace. Nitish Kumar ready as well, the sixth option. So what do you do?
Malinga and Cummins up the top. I think Harshal will probably have to bowl one in the power play. And I would get a spinner in early in the power play. Probably the fifth over. Yeah. Fourth or fifth over, I would get a spinner in. Maybe Zishan Ansari, maybe, if that's your preferred option, inside the power play just for one.
Yeah. Now, SRH already knocked out, but they surely don't want to finish in the bottom two or at number 10. LSG, a lot more riding for them in this game. What does Langer tell this team? And Zach.
Yeah, I think they're now saying that, look, there are 3 matches, look at it one match at a time. Sure. Get this win. Don't worry about what's happening in the rest of the tournament, get this win. We're on home ground. This is a team that's already knocked out. Yeah. We push a bit harder, they'll collapse. And we saw that yesterday, that, we had a fantastic start from Rajasthan. But when they pushed and, one brick fell down, then this edifice slowly started collapsing. And I think that's what they'll say, that a team that's out of contention will not make that desperate last effort. So you've just got to push hard, till they fall, and once they fall, they won't get up. I mean, that's what I tell them.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose, Hyderabad, but they also have nothing to win.
Exactly.
So it's an easy thing to say, we're coming up against a team that has nothing to lose. They will play free. They will play blah blah blah. But when push comes to shove, they're not as desperate because they don't actually have anything to win either. Yeah. Everybody says, oh, they got nothing to lose. They can go out and play. What have they got to win? Yes, a game, but they're out of the tournament. Their season's done.
Yeah. They've already got flight tickets.
And that's exactly what we saw with Rajasthan yesterday. Yeah. They had nothing to lose and they could play so freely. What were they, 79 in the power play?
89
in the power play as their best ever power play because they just had nothing to lose. Yeah. Well, they also had nothing to win. Yeah. And that showed towards the back end.
Is the glass half full? Is it half empty? Lots more to think about for LSG. Pant isn't opening. Marsh and Markram out to open. Before we get your predictions in, Joy factor.
Okay. Not a stat that anyone will be proud of, but let's take a look at this. in the first Indian T20 League, if in the Indian T20 League, the first was Andrew Simons in 2008, followed by Ravi Bopara in 2010, and Prashant Parmeshwar in 2011, who is the latest. Andrew Simons, Ravi Bopara, Prashant Parmeshwaran. Prashant Parmeshwaran was a quick from Kerala. That's all I'll tell you.
Okay.
Gale clobbered him for a lot of runs in Bangalore one game, I remember.
The third.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The third player of a hat trick.
We'll see. To find out the correct answer. Stay tuned to
Thank you,
Cricbuzz.
Simon.
Well, you will find out the correct answer. One of you will be the winner and he will get a single thumbs up, not a double one. Single one from Joy and Simon at the end of our coverage later tonight. Gentlemen, time now for predictions.
I'm just going to hold on to Simon's coattails.
Oh, okay.
By the way, Cummins is opening the bowling.
Good. I don't think it's a high-scoring ground, and I'm happy to be proven wrong if it's not. So I'm going to say 100, and we've got an Australian opening batting and an Australian opening bowling. I'm going to go 187.
First ball boundary.
187.
It's so bizarre. I was going to say 188 because that was Gavaskar's score during the
Oh, the
MCC
87
11
thing with Australians.
Huh?
It's unlucky because
Yeah, 13 below.
13 below. So I'm 187. You can go 188.
Okay, 188.
Yeah.
I'll go 171.
Wee, low ball.
I'm anyway losing.
Yeah, okay.
Let's take a chance.
I'm going to stay ahead of old Shiny Top with his big head.
We're going to cull out this clip and send it to Murli Karthik. If he's on commentary, he will lose his head. See Simon Doull say this.
That's the one thing he can't afford to lose his head.
This is how we chill in this very studio. You can join us as well at the halfway mark on Voltas Presents Cricbuzz Live. Bye-bye. See you soon.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ